Alright, we're here at the finals match. We're keeping it down so the players can't hear a thing. So apologize for the whispering if no one can hear us, or if we sound especially sensual today or tonight. Both players take a mulligan here, looking for a better setup.
We have two decks here. We have a Stark Kings of Winter, and then we have a Targaryen Knights of the Hollow Hill deck. As Stephen has already said, they both took a mulligan, so they are reassessing their initial setup phase. And we're going to see what comes of that right now as they both congratulate each other on making it to the finals. This is a big moment. It's the first independent Fantasy Flight World Championship event, so we'll see what comes of this. And we have a pretty good vantage point here of our Stark player's deck. He's got at least a 4-card setup right on the
But
back.
zero cost.
Yeah, 4 zero-cost cards. It's kind of disappointing just because they're zero cost. It's not getting any real gold value out of any of these things. But it is still 4 cards that it gets to draw back up into, and that can't be understated just to see that much more of your deck right off the outset of the game.
Not having any gold on the setup is...
It's a big deal.
huge.
Even if you were to see one of those cards for 5 gold, that would be far more preferable to see 4 zero gold cards. And let's see what John Bruno has. Of course, he selects a Hondo, so he doesn't get a setup, but he does get his mulligan all the same.
John's pretty happy right now. I would imagine that playing this, he's pretty happy seeing that the setup didn't really hurt him that much. We've got Open with Much and More, Stark winner. Alright, so John has laid out his top 4. Eric is now taking a pick. He chooses to put the C in his hand.
That's right. Much and More is a card that has seen a lot of play today, and its value is probably needing a reassessment within the meta at large because it's very popular, and if you aren't running it, you should probably take a second look because a lot of the top players here today at the Fantasy Flight World Championship have been using it to great effect. So if you're one of those people that wrote it off, take a second look. It's probably worth your time.
It seems to be used almost solely for the rule by decree opening, so that's what we're going to see next.
A lot of houses don't have an option to play a card as a setup phase action, so being able to drop that and then rule by decree, forcing the discard of 3 cards, it's a pretty big deal. So take a look, assess what you can do with it, and maybe it can be a pro opening like all these guys are using it as.
John Bruno answers with Much and More, so that's going to mean a no rule by decree for anybody. Unless John gets that flame kissed.
I guess you can have a river road.
Yeah, not any good options really here to give John on that Much and More.
A Hatchling's Feast, a Flame Kiss, a Maraxis, and a King's Road fights.
It's actually a Rainy Sill.
Rainy Tail, excuse me. So he takes the Rainy Tail, discards the rest, or puts them back on the top of his deck.
Yeah, I'll shuffle one in.
A very meticulous cut here.
Yes, I wanted that about.
We're noticing a lot more action in the pre-plot phase. It seems to be a kind of a turn that the meta is taking, paying more attention to essentially the phase that is often forgotten in the game.
That's right. Rule by decree has become such a near ubiquitous element within the meta that if you're not planning for it, if you're not plotting for it, and all this kind of thing, then you very well might be behind the power curve, because let's remember that Bull Decree on the first turn is the equivalent strength of 3 one-cost intrigue challenges, or one-claim intrigue challenges. So,
Alright, so we have the drop here. We have Retaliation versus Waste Their Time.
that's right.
This is a kind of a John Bruno special, opening with Waste Their Time, pulling the cherry card out of the opponent's deck. Similar to a first turn Confession, almost equal in its strength. Doesn't care terribly much about the gold on the plot, given that he's running Hollow Hill. So he's just going to get to slow his opponent down as much as possible.
That's right, and let's not forget that one of the best things about Waste Their Time is the
He
knowledge
grabs
of,
the Maestro.
knowledge is power element that you get to assess what their hand is and move on, knowing full well what they can and can't play this given phase. So it's a big deal, and they're only going to have 2 cards that you're going to be ignorant on. Also worth noting that Retaliation has been a very popular first turn block.
Exceptionally popular. 2 claim, 4 gold. What's not to like?
See? Back. Play Confession.
And John opens again with a total hand knowledge and nullification.
So not only did he have knowledge of what he had at the plot phase, but he now has knowledge post-draw. So not only is he discarding 2 cards, but he has a complete understanding of what his opponent can do with the cards that he has in hand. It's a really big advantage.
Total control and an absolute psychological advantage as well, because he is seeming, certainly as the aggressor in this match.
That's right. And it allows John to have the priority for determining what cards he wants to play, what cards he doesn't want to play, given what his opponent has in his hand.
I have 5 back.
He drops a couple of C's, a Fiefdoms, and a Rainey's Hill. 2 more influence on the board and the Rainies. Eric plays a River Row, followed by another gold location. Kneels to play Mance.
Mance, this is the Kingdom's location, Mance, and then we have Sir Kyle coming out, followed right after. And that's it.
It's a slow game against Burn. No, I'm sorry, he didn't play Rainies, he played Aegon, so...
That's right. So Aegon is going to allow him to look at his hand, look at a character card that is in the hand, and put it directly into the deck. It's a really big move, and I believe Samuel Tarley was targeted and now put directly into the deck card.
Yep. He ambushed out a Sellsword Deserter.
That's right.
-1 to all allies and mercenaries.
Yep.
Cards left in hand.
4. How's him go?
Goes with a military challenge for 1 strength. Eric poses with 2. John's probably got plenty of burn options in his hand. And here it comes.
Alright. Good.
And he decides to pass.
Incinerate.
John responds with Incinerate on the refugee, looks like. And takes the unopposed entry. Getting Incinerate out of his hand before Eric can claim it.
Start unloading. Any cards? Alright.
Go down.
Okay.
And John at this point, having Hollow Hill, essentially evening the board out. Definitely has the advantage. He's going to get an extra 2 gold, extra 2 influence every turn. Yeah, Eric has put up 2 gold himself, so he negates that advantage. Has some reducers. Still pretty close game. Time for Ravens versus First Snow.
I'll play first.
John's going first.
John's going first. Eric's going to go get a Raven, and he chooses to get the White Raven to make it winner.
One card left for that.
Hey.
Sorry, let's just get a hand action.
Alright.
My bad.
Sorry.
Good.
Drop.
Yep.
Okay. I've got 5 gold. I'll spend 1 for a fiefdom.
John drops another fiefdom. He's now at 6 influence total.
2 cards in your hand.
Yes.
You got 6.
2 cards remaining for John.
And he passes Marshall.
No point to keeping dudes in my hand. Why don't we make a card?
Sure.
It is now winner with a White Raven in play.
RPG comes out. 2 put on shadows. Remember, the First Snow and winner is going to be critical here.
There's only 1.
It's not good.
Great one.
Things I'm thinking
It's
about.
worth noting that only Mance will survive the effect of First Snow and winner being 3 costs.
You have an action.
And Eric attaches Grey Wind.
Back up to 2.
And kills the Deserter.
That's it for me.
Shadow deal.
Which means that if he wants, he can effectively pass challenges phase without the risk of bouncing any characters back to hand, of which he has 2.
Where'd you learn that from?
Huh?
Where'd you learn that from? You spying on me?
Exactly. Put in your hand.
Going to challenges now, and Eric is deciding if he wants to bring something out. He brings Sirio out, which may be a mistake.
Alright. Move the Syrian out.
The Syrian has entered play via ambush.
That's going to mean a nasty military challenge.
Do a military challenge?
Only Mance will be on play,
And
but
with
without a strength booster, Mance will be claim here.
Give any action before taking a shot? I'll stealth military.
And Mance was just chosen for stealth. Everything else will bounce back to hand.
Oh, first no. First no.
and Eric is realizing the mistake here, I think.
Greymon will be discarded. All the characters will return to his hand.
Badass.
This is military.
Yeah.
Not much he can do here.
Bad situation.
Just has to take it.
It's going to go.
Total newishness. I gotta let it go in place.
Okay.
It's unopposed, and Mance goes to the dead pile.
Be a dragon.
Be a dragon to stand Viserion.
Yourself to reserve back into play.
Put the top card of your discard pile back in.
Friendly response. No, see, I'm with that. I'll do a power.
Power challenge of Viserion.
5 draws, unopposed. Get rid of the bone.
Triggers Viserion, which you forgot to do earlier.
It's once per phase, so it doesn't matter that he forgot it.
You got it. And then the entry challenge pulls no quarter. And then Aegon's Hill to look at the hand. Puts Sir Kyle in the dead pile.
So that's it for Sir Kyle. One of the hardest characters to kill in the game because of Stalwart, but he's no longer a factor.
And John is in full control here, and there's very little that Eric can do. Valor isn't even that great here.
Sorry.
Counting favors.
You're not that predictable.
Counting
I
favors.
should never say that.
Counting favors.
I'll do it anyway. Alright, let's do it.
We have a Valor on Eric's part, and then a Search and Detain on Jard's part. So Viserion goes back into his hand, escaping the Valor, and then the Sellsword is dead.
Let's do it, John.
And they draw 2.
I'm going to do a draw. It's winter, right? You have 3 cards or 4? Alright, never mind. Alright. Ready?
John is going again. He's going to take first from the Search and Detain. He drops a fiefdom. It's 2 more influence.
Go.
And another C.
He's got a lot of influence racked up. He can pretty much pick and choose whatever ambush effects he wants at this point.
The only thing limiting him now is his hand size.
You took mine. You are good like that. Let's see.
Refugee comes out. Hodor as well.
Pay for free with a reduce effect.
Two for shadows.
Shadow dude.
Tricky question here because John has 1 card left in hand, and it is of course Viserion still, which he can ambush without any question. And he also has Aegon's Hill still in play.
You have 1 card.
Syrio comes out of shadows.
See?
He's not going to inspect his hand for any character,
Your challenges, sir.
of which there's nothing. Here comes Viserion.
Syrian. I can do a military challenge. I can stealth look.
He is stealthing the refugee,
Yeah.
who's the only character that either doesn't have stealth or cannot be bypassed by stealth. So if Eric wants to win here, he has to defend with both characters.
Alright, let's see.
Interesting play for John, given that the refugee can, the 0 claim is really what's allowing him to be so aggressive here. Knowing that Viserion isn't going to die on that military challenge on the way back. John doesn't have to worry about Valor any longer, so he could play out a lot more loosely. All that he's lacking right now is card draw. But on Eric's side, he doesn't have it either, so if this is the game, John's going to have the advantage with resources and with hand knowledge.
Hard to underestimate the power of Aegon's Hill here, having played against it myself earlier today. Knowing what exactly your opponent has in the challenges phase in their hand is a really crucial luxury.
Erick defends the challenge.
Syria bounces back to
Seconds
shadows.
are down.
Okay.
Do not want dudes in that dead pile.
And it looks like the FFG was punted because he didn't win 10 minutes.
And of course, if you don't know, Holdor cannot attack in any way, only a defensive character. We're about to hit our fourth pot here. We're entering a phase of the game where the cards you draw off the top of your deck are going to be extremely critical. If John gets what he's looking for, it could easily turn into a snowball effect that will get him the game. So we have a Rule by Decree on John's part and a Winds of Winter on Erick's part. And it is winter.
Yeah, we got 5 of them.
Yeah, at the beginning of March, I think I might have an action.
Okay.
And we're just seeing if Syria is going to be brought out. And he is at the start of marshalling.
Continue.
That's it.
John brings out, looks like the red keep.
Yep.
It's actually a Bay of Ice.
Bay of Ice. That's going to give him some much needed card draw.
With the effects he already has for initiative boosting, that'll be critical.
Erick reduces. Please. Simultaneously.
No, he's already dead. Never mind.
Doesn't have an icon, so he can't do that.
Well, he'd be twice dead, I guess.
I actually think it might have been that Samuel was targeted with Aegon's Hill earlier. I can't remember though. So he might already be dead.
I believe that he was, actually.
So again, another effect of playing multiple copies of unique characters. It can be potential dead card draw, which is not something you ever want to see.
We go to shadows before challenges. We'll see if Erick brings anything out. He's going to let get Aegon's, and he's going to get rid of Stan.
Worth noting that you can return another card that is already in the dead pile to the dead pile, thus reassuring that it cannot be brought back.
Hold on now. I think we just did mill, right?
Yeah. Okay, I'll do power. I'm in
I
military.
don't think it really matters.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So a misdeclaration other than intended. John is doing a power challenge that he meant to declare a military challenge.
Yep.
My go? Go now.
Play 1 Lances.
Long lances entering play. Standing Viserion. Worth noting that ambush is a card effect that will trigger long lances as it enters play.
And Viserion defends and triggers to get rid of yet another location.
2, 3, there's nothing I can do about that.
John is entering into some solid control of the board right now, especially with Valor having already been expended.
See shooting.
And it has long lances and Viserion to a Syrio and Hodor out. No offensive threat whatsoever.
It's quite a risk having Syrio in play. Usually he's protected by being in shadows, so we'll see what happens. Now choosing our 5th plot. Also at the current tally, John is at 5 power, Eric is at 0. We have a Fear of Winter from Eric and a Threat from the North from John.
I'll play first.
John goes first.
Can I get 1 for Bay of Ice? Yeah. Can I get?
He gets 3 for Bay of Ice.
Unfortunately, this stuff be out of here.
I know. Alrighty. Sorry, I have 3 with it. I'm gonna use 1. Turning grounds.
That's a good one.
Marine Turning Grounds, a very powerful card for a Targaryen player, especially with Threat from the North in play.
Yeah, 1.
If he attacks Syria at this point, he's going to get aced. Or defends for that matter.
John still has 2 cards in hand and plenty of influence to ambush anything he wants.
Distinction on long lances.
That's my 1 card.
It's the 1 card.
The question is...
Shadows?
It's a good question.
But of course you can't ambush anything because Fear of Winter is in play.
At this point, he doesn't have to fear the military threat whatsoever because of the turning grounds, so he can attack at will. We're going to see if Eric brings out a Shadows character, and he does. Brings out Berries. And discards Hodor.
Varys is a passive effect, so it cannot be ignored. It would have either been Varys or Hodor. He chose Hodor. At this point, we can assume that Eric is looking for the offensive power potential from Varys rather than the defensive power potential from Hodor.
Power challenge. Stealth and berries.
Viserys coming in, or Viserion coming in with a power
I
challenge.
won't stealth anything. Look around.
I mean, unopposed.
Alright.
And it's unopposed.
I'll get rid of the river.
Hold on.
Viserys is doing some serious work here. John goes Aegon's
Ready
Hill.
for me to kill?
What do you
Kill
want?
him.
My go?
Yes.
2 cards in hand?
Yep.
Kills the Pyromancer's apprentice.
8.
John is now at 8 power.
Go intrigue.
Intrigue from Viserys.
Claim of 2.
Both of John's cards are now discarded and empty hand.
Looks like I'm gonna have to be done.
Alright.
You're down.
Yep.
And John went dominance. Going to the 5th plot. 6th plot. Valar on John's end versus Rule by Decree. John wins initiative, even on the Valar turn.
Okay. I'll play first.
Viserion is now dead.
He's going to get an extra card for Bay of Ice.
You made the choice easier for me.
Hand size is now equal.
Get 3 gold.
who, of course, can selectively kill something rather than just having a military claim.
And that's whenever it wins after attacking by itself on either intrigue or military challenges.
Nasty, nasty card.
John sitting on 2 gold and 9 power. Eric at 3 gold and 1 power.
Spins a gold for Carrion Bird, 0 for Hungry Mob.
Carrion Bird was reduced to 0 cost. And a frozen solid went on the Marine Tourney Grass.
Good play.
Intrigue.
John declares an intrigue challenge. Unopposed.
How many cards in your hand? Is that one? I'm gonna kill the Hungry Mob.
And John kills the Hungry Mob.
Unopposed. Pull Jogo on the play.
Kyle comes in.
Look at the hand.
And we have a military challenge coming
Play
here.
ambush from the planes.
With 5 initiative.
I have 5, yeah. I'll put him in play. So he can play with a card effect. I'll draw a card.
Who is it that comes in?
I can't tell.
No.
Company of the Cat comes in.
0.
He's reduced by 2 because of the 2. Cal Drago and Pirate Pre comes in for 5, which is John's initiative.
I'm done.
Okay. He's
Looks
looking
like I
back to my
win.
hand.
Yeah, looks like I went down.
I have 2, and you have 3. Yep.
We got a dominance, which Eric gets. 0 claim on John's turn there is preventing
Yep.
that Carrion Bird from getting aced.
A bad plot. Jeez. Hasn't done anything for me all game.
I hear you.
And we have a first known winner on Eric's part and a march to the wall on John's part.
Right. John fully in control of this match, has been from the very beginning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, about the winter. Just don't take Drogo. I want Drogo. Alright.
Kings of Winter agenda triggering a discard.
Yeah, we got 4 gold. Free. Put Jogo.
Jogo out and play a critical card because
that's
he
it.
has card draw effects.
Yep.
2 gold for Winter here, kind of coming back to bite Eric. Sitting with 2 4-cost cards in his hand.
More influence than I could shake the stick at.
Jogo at this point has the all-important power icon, which will accelerate John's lead, especially if Eric can't get any characters up onto the board.
Let's make you work for it.
John is sitting pretty at 11 power to Eric's 2.
Work to be here.
No, wait, how did you pay for this guy?
With influence? I didn't take the power.
No.
My bad. With
A correction
kneeling
here
down.
of John's
Well, I didn't
golden
know that.
play.
Yes, I know that. I didn't ambush him.
Bringing Jogo
I was like, no.
And John is figuring out indeed that as a Targaryen player, you cannot ambush any character that you wish, as they often get in the habit of doing.
Let's see, or I get to keep one of these guys. Then you're forced to Drogo. It just dies for nothing. Yeah, I think.
And John, a former champion, but has not, as I understand it, had a champion card. Not verified, but that's the rumors that I was hearing around. I had not seen a card of his, of course. May have been a bit before the card creation was a thing.
Best legal agenda in the game.
That's your opinion.
It's truth. Yeah, I'm totally screwed. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter.
Eric reduces for a Northern Cavalry fight.
Do your business.
Okay.
Do your business.
I'll look at your hand.
Whose
I'll
bolt
do
is now dead
stealth.
from Akon's
So
hand.
the stealth to flank. Unopposed. Claim form.
Drogo draw a card.
Claim power and card draw.
Put in Drogo.
This is game, right?
Counter comes in.
Alright,
Alright, John has it. Alright, so there you have it. John's full tilt Hollow Hill control deck. Easily controlling Stark Winter here. And looks like it really was never out of control.
That's right. This is a pretty consistent play that we've seen all day here from Targaryen players, utilizing the Knights of the Hollow Hill agenda, taking advantage of that extra golden influence to work their magic using ambush and utilizing that extra card draw at the penalty of setup. It's really a win-win for them because they don't miss the extra gold, and the influence serves them especially well.
Yeah. So thanks guys for watching. We'll keep it up, keep at it, and keep playing Game of Thrones, one of the best card games out there.